begin with a table. So I've given you tables A and table B. So I'd like you to review the columns. This relation will not be a function if any input corresponds to more than one different output. So taking a look at the example table A, you would state that this is indeed a function because all of my x values are different numbers. Although looking at table B, you'll notice that your x value 3 repeats and has two different y values, therefore not a function. Let's move on to the next box, which I'm sorry, I actually meant to white that one out earlier. These are called lists. I've given you two different lists on C and D examples. With these, you must review each ordered pair this time rather than before that we had to worry about each column. The relation will not be a function if any x coordinate corresponds to more than one different y coordinate. So let's take a look at example C. Now, each of these have different x coordinates and they have their own special y coordinate. So I would say yes, this is a function. Although, looking at example D, you'll notice that the x value 1 has two different y values, leaving it not a function. Now let's move on to graphs. Now for graphs, we would be using the vertical line test. The relation will not be a function if the vertical line ever crosses two or more points of the relation. So let's take a look at graphs E and F as examples. Graph E, I'm going to go ahead and create a vertical line at x is equal to -1. And you'll notice that it crosses this parabola once. And here, if I have another vertical line at x is equal to 2, it again only crosses one time. I could take it further and say maybe x is equal to -2, and it still passes the vertical line test. So I would say this is a good example of a function. Although, if I take, let's say, x is equal to 1 over here, you'll notice that I have crossed my relation at two different points. So 2 or more, that is not a function. It has failed the vertical line test at one point, and as a matter of fact, it even fails it at another several different points. This is x is equal to -1 as well, and it has two different places where it crosses my relation. This is not a function. Next, we have a mapping diagram. This time we will be reviewing the arrows. The relation will not be a function if any x value maps to more than one different y value. So let's go ahead and take a look at my two mappings here. I don't have these lettered, sorry. I guess you could call them F, G, and H. So let's go ahead and take a look at our x values. So you'll notice that here I have -4 going to its particular 16, -2 going to +4, -1 to 1, 4, +4 is also going to -16, and actually that's okay. Each x value has its own separate y value. Although, let's take a look at the last mapping diagram. Now in this case, I have 3 has not just one y, but it actually has two different y values. Think of it this way, an x becomes an x by cheating. It's cheating on its y. So if it cheats, it's not a function.